which was confusing, chaotic, a lot of changes on the leaderboard to end day one.
Open up the door to G's forward. Smoke clouds follow while we hit another quarter. 50s in a carry-on, feel like a transporter. It's a privilege to know me, that's 100 on my broski. 1-2 punch, damn this thing hitting fully. Fresh pot of gumbo and we back up on our bully. Beat by diamond, shout out to the boy Cushy. Now I'm everything I could be, shades on with a hoodie.
Hey, you know that hoodie ISO. When we touch stage, yeah, you know that it's a light show. If you ain't got no Zod, then you can't join the site, bro. It's in the hood doing stick-ups with a rifle. I just keep it business, man, if I don't really like you. She was trying to front, but she still let me fight.
It kind of sucks.
You just gotta give yourself a sec to be angry and don't let it affect the next one because there's a lot of fitness ahead.
And Mama on the Jumbotron. You gotta love it. Tell you what, hey, listen.
Good morning, day one of the CrossFit Games. I'm at the run course. You can see we've got these CrossFit poles up to keep people on track. Got my media credential, press pass here. This gives me floor access, so while I don't have the enhanced access, I do have access to the floor for the event. So hopefully I'll get some really cool videos. Very excited to be back here at the CrossFit Games here in Albany. You can see some of these historic buildings behind me. It almost feels unreal to be back here again, especially after last year, but I'm excited for CrossFit Games. So let's get inside or outside.
Yeah, legend status, ask about the name. I've been putting in work, collecting, fuck the fame. Up in the stat while they watching the 10 in the game. Either you in it or just a critic, man, we ain't the same. I'm focused on making this history into my top 5. List is listing me. I never got an L on pass, this ain't no breeze. I had to make the workout last, the bill of steam is different degrees. And know I do this here with the ease, it never been easy. Slim, just keep one up the sleeve. I saw a few that had the passion, succumb to the greed. But I keep forward here, the goal is near the song. It's more for ears that know what's still to come. I walked inside to find a weapon form. They looked inside the eye, was still the storm. But I know temptation waits for years and all. It's a lot of money on the line for this. If we get everybody jumping in the crowd, my partner said he probably put somebody in the ground for this. We used to talk about it.
So I always kind of look for like a little quiet place for me to camp out and do these recaps, and I haven't found one inside yet, so I'm outside on the side of the arena by this random door that someone might walk through in the middle of this, which would probably just make it more fun. So event 1 is done. Nothing too crazy or shocking in this event. We had on the men's side, Jeff Adler finish in first. And he was one of the first people to get to the rower, but Roman Khrennikov actually caught him on that row. Roman is a fantastic rower, so not super shocking, but the way he killed that row and came off with quite a few seconds in between him and the next athlete was very impressive. I thought Roman may have done enough to break the rest of the field and stay ahead, but Jeff caught him. Jeff passed him and then stayed ahead, and then you could tell that Jeff broke Roman. Like, Roman wasn't killing himself trying to beat Jeff at that point. He kind of let Jeff go, win the event, get those 100 points, and Roman took 95, which is still a great finish. But Jeff made a good point after the event that sometimes event wins, ties come back to event wins and tiebreakers. So he was like, I have the opportunity to get this one, I'm gonna take it, and he did. In third, we had Ricky Garrard. Jeff, Roman, Ricky, all athletes we expected to do well on this event. In fourth was Austin Hatfield. I think that's a great finish for him in a bigger, longer athlete event like running and rowing. So good finish for Austin. Jay was fifth. Kalen Souza, who does well at these events, he came in sixth. I think that's the best we'll see him do all weekend. James Sprague, seventh. Jayson Hopper, eighth. Chris Ibarra in ninth. And Harry Lightfoot in 10th. I'm going to go down a little bit farther to someone who I was surprised to see this far down the leaderboard, and that is Dallin Pepper. He finished in 15th, and that's about where he came in on the first run. He was about middle of the pack on those rowers. The athletes went to the rowers in the order that they came in from the first 4-mile run, and I was surprised to see him that far back, and he really didn't make up much time, it looked like, based on where he was and where I was standing in the final 2 miles of running. He is really the only person I would say is an outlier of athletes we expected to see in the top 10 who are a little bit far out right now, but event 1, like we saw Pat Vellner for years take a big L on event 1 and then end up on the podium. So nothing to worry about quite yet. Middle of the pack is decent, although the scoring is a little bit different because it's 30 athletes, not 40. Bronislaw Olenkowicz is your last place athlete in this event, and he took last by a bit. He kind of just like, it felt like watching him that he was like, I know I'm going to get last. I'm going to fully embrace it and just be last. The person who came in second to last was in 56:38, and Bronislaw was 103:13. It's like 7 minutes. Last by a bit. And Colton Mertens, our people's champ, let's just talk about him. He finished in 26th. This was not going to be a good event for him. It's just a matter of climbing up the leaderboard the rest of the weekend now. Over to the women's side of things. In first, can you guess it? Can you guess it yet? That is Tia-Clair Toomey. Interesting about Tia, so she actually started out the event near the back of the pack. They were seeded for this first event based on their open finishes. Tia didn't really do the open with the goal of doing the best she could in the open, if that makes sense. It was just a matter of getting to the next level. But she made it all the way to the front by the end of the event, finishing in first place by almost 30 seconds over Amy Kringle. It was a little bit closer than I expected. I thought Tia may have been able to beat the pack by minutes, not quite that. And Amy caught her a bit on the row, but Tia did Tia things and continued to gain space as the second 2-mile run went on. They got off the rower, and Amy, it looked like she was like coming up for Tia, and by the time they got back, 30 seconds difference. In third, we have Lucy Campbell. Great start for her. Lucy is one of those people we're looking at to make it into the top 10 after missing the games from an injury, coming back, winning every event she did in the off-season, and now we're expecting a top 10 finish. I'm expecting a top 10 finish from her at the CrossFit Games this year. Third place in an event that we expect her to be good at, but I think that we're going to see her do well throughout the weekend. Maybe not stay in this third place position, but I think she's going to be top 10. In fourth, we have Haley Adams, who absolutely was like gunning it at the end of the event. No one was chasing her. She beat the fifth place person, who was Ariel Lowen, by 14 seconds. You would have thought she was in like a foot race with someone that was like right here. She was not. It was a little bit interesting. A lot of people were slowing down at the very end of the run because if no one's next to you, everyone's in the same heat. It's not like you're racing people in different heats. As long as no one's going to pass you, you're good. But Haley, she really kept the foot on that pedal. In fifth, like I just mentioned, we have Ariel Lowen. In sixth, Miriam Von Rohr. Interesting to see how she would do in this event. It's very High Rocks-esque, but she didn't beat everyone. She didn't beat the entire field. She did well. I mean, sixth place finish is great. If you had sixth place finishes across the weekend, you still wouldn't beat Tia, but you might be on the podium. And in different CrossFit Games, without Tia, that could put you at the top of the podium. In seventh, we had Madeline Sturt. Eighth, Danielle Brandon. Ninth, Abigail Domet. And 10th, Grace Walton. Grace Walton was like trying to catch Abby on that last little bit of run, but there just was like too much space between them. But she kept it from the pedal till the end. The women were much farther back and spread out than the men. The men's times all felt a little bit more compact. The women were quite a bit behind them. Lydia Fish is in 12th. That's a great start for her. Hattie Canyo in 13th. Alexis Raptis in 14th. I think we're going to see her move up the leaderboard. Brooke Wells in her last games finished right in the middle of the pack, 15th. Sung Young and Choi, who some people have picked to finish at the end, like last place. I don't think that's going to happen. I think she's going to be much better than last place. Finished 16th. Fee is in 17th. Anyone else? Oh, Syria Meha, the woman who won the in-affiliate semifinal, she finished in 20th. And remember, we only have 30 people this year. Annika Greer cramped out at the end there. You could see her holding her side as she was running to the finish line and kind of like fell over at the end. Medical was helping her. Looks like just a cramp. She finished in 27th. So now we have the second event literally just a few hours after they finished the first one. I believe that ended around 9 a.m. The second event is at 11:10. not a lot of time to recover, and they're reseeding for this. So I talked about that at the beginning, where Tia was a little upset that they were seeded by open seeding or open finish. She was at the back of the pack. They are reseeding for this second event, so it will be seeded based on how they did in the first event, meaning Tia's in the top heat, which makes sense. Let's go, event 2, the crossover event. We're lost in the arena.
Leslie, there's your pit. That center opening is probably where you're at.
To find it still. Gotta find it.
Stand by.
If you ain't got no Zod and you can't join the site, bro. It's in the hood doing stick-ups with a rifle. I just keep it business, man, if I don't really like you. She was trying to front, but she still let me pipe, though. I can stay fat, I don't need lipo. I'm saving up my bread for insurance like Geico. Get into the chicken like we eating out at Roscoe's. We was in the hood, really trapping off of iPhones. People move fake, then they act like they're reliable. Always speak truth, right hand on the Bible. Never stoop low, I'ma always take the high road. Now my son won, I'm like, damn, where the time go? If I say I love you, I'ma always hit my pride, bro. I'm Esco with the bars, got me feeling like Pablo. Ay,
it kind of sucks, but it's cool to see, like, you kind of have it makes you appreciate it a lot more, and it's fun to cheer on my friends.
What has it been like interacting with the community? I saw you out there doing fighting earlier.
Yeah, that's been really fun. Normally when you compete, you don't have any time to like say hi to people. You're just like going to and from and kind of rushed, so that's been really cool to like actually engage with people.
How do you think you would have done on this event?
I really like the heavy dumbbell and I like crossovers, so I think it would have been decent.
I think you would have done well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Event 2 is done. Let's start on the women's side. They went first, and the leaderboard is a little bit more clear. There's a lot more shaken up on the men's side going on. But on the women's side, in first, we still have Tia-Clair Toomey, who went on and won that event too. So she's won 2 of 2. It was her 43rd, I believe, event win. And afterwards she said, it's pretty cool, but I'm not about to stop now. Maybe that is significant, not just for that event, but going forward. In second is Amy Kringle, who's been doing really well. She had a 2nd place finish on event 1, 3rd place finish on event 2. When Tia's in the field, you really can't ask for much more than that. Danielle Brandon is who I had picked in the Heat 1 app to win this event. She didn't, but she came in 2nd to Tia, which is basically winning, right? And she came in 8th on the run row, so she's in 3rd right now. Lucy Campbell is she's in 4th, fell down 1 spot, coming in 10th in the all crossed up, the 2nd workout. Miriam Von Rohr, 6th and an 8th. Pretty solid finishes from her. Madeline Sturt up to 6th with a 7th and a 9th place finish. Lydia Fish, she looked very good on this workout. I was pretty impressed. She came in 2nd in her heat, but it was a 5th overall finish, moving her up to 7th. So Lydia Fish right now in the top 10 after 2 events. Ariel Lowen moved down to 7th, having a 12th place finish in all crossed up. Haley Adams did not do as well on that event as I expected. I thought she might do well on all crossed up. I know she's had trouble with double unders, but she's good on her hands, so I thought she'd do really well on the wall walks and has decent overhead mobility. I was wrong. She finished 17th on that and is currently in 9th. And Lucy McGonigal, she won her heat, just beating out Lydia Fish, and she finished 4th overall and is now in 10th place. Right out of the top 10, we have Abigail Domit, Grace Walton, Hattie Canio. Claudia Gluck moved her way up. She had a 25th place finish in the first event and then came in 6th, winning her heat in the 2nd event. So we're still seeing a lot of movement. Annika Greer, 27th on the first event, 7th on the 2nd event. It's gonna look, I think the leaderboard's gonna continue to look very different throughout this day 1. I think we can expect to see some more movement, not necessarily in the top 2 and 3, but throughout 4 through 10, quite a bit, even after the next event. I think we're gonna continue to see this shake up a little bit. I was in a nice secluded place. The men's scores would not populate. Now I get back to the crowds and they're up. So let's talk about the men's leaderboard after event 2, which had some big shakeups because Jeff Adler did not do well on that event. How badly did he do? I should filter this based on the event so that we could talk specifically about that. Okay, so first was Ricky Garrard, and he came in like not seconds, milliseconds faster than Justin Medeiros, who was in the second heat, right before Ricky. And I had picked him to win this event in the Heat 1 app. I thought that this would be a good event for Justin, and I was right, but it was a very slightly better event for Ricky, who also didn't know the time to beat, so who knows if they were next to each other. In third was Jay Crouch, then Jayson Hopper, who's having a really good weekend so far. 2 events, but so far looks really good. Harry Lightfoot in 5th. Then Dallin Pepper had a bit of a bounce back. So Dallin Pepper finished 6th. He was 15th in that first event, literally middle of the pack. So this is his beginning of his climb back up. Austin Hatfield finished in 9th, so he went down a bit. Roman Khrennikov, who was sitting in 2nd, finished in 10th in this event. Not a great finish for him. Bronislaw, who finished in 30th in the first event, finished in 11th, so he really made some moves there. Now we finally got to Jeff Adler, finished in 12th, moving him from 1st in that leader jersey, and I was watching him after he finished. He looked a little bit upset. Not going to be wearing that leader jersey for the next event because he's now in 5th place overall. Let's go to the overall standings so we can look at that. In 1st, we now have Ricky Garrard with a 1st and a 3rd place. Really great finishes for him. Jay Crouch currently sitting in that 2nd position. Roman fell from 2nd to 3rd, but not bad for a 10th place finish in the 2nd event. Jayson Hopper up to 4th. Jeff Adler all the way down to 5th. Hatfield in 6th. Medeiros up to 7th. Colin Bosshard in 9th, tied with James Sprigg for 9th place. And Dallin Pepper right behind them at 11th. I think he'll be in the top 10 after the next event. Someone else probably worth talking about, Colton Mertens finished 20th in that event. He broke his rope during the first set of crossovers, and then he was like running around trying to find a new rope, went one direction, came back, went the other direction. I don't know if he appealed to get some time back. I hope he did, because that's a really unfortunate situation. I don't know if they would give it to him, but there was a lot of him running around. And then I saw, I think it was Colin Bosshard, come out with 2 ropes after that, which, pretty smart.
Hey, all work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in a stretcher. Fuck the comparison, y'all know y'all couldn't replicate it. Chilling in the desert, I'm good under pressure. Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found. This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles. From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down. That's the crown on me, wear it proud, show 'em what we bout. Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found. Said this a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles. From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
We're open for a top 3.
Yeah. Look great, she's way ahead of the field.
Pulling, any type of pulling, and then she's a very strong squatter, so it was a really good one for her.
Help.
Perfect.
I think you did that well.
Yeah, great job.
I'm just so proud of that. I feel like ran well to the last bar too. I might have had a shot, but
No, dude, that was perfect. Yeah.
I didn't like hesitate. I was like, you're gonna pick it up because you're not gonna miss it.
You did exactly what you needed to do.
Thank you.
How you feeling, Karen?
Thank you. I feel good about that one. That was good redemption after the last event. Didn't go my way. You just gotta give yourself a sec to be angry and don't let it affect the next one because there's a lot of fitness ahead. Still got 7 more events, so we're gonna keep climbing. You already know. Hey, give me some. Water? Thank you. Hey, me and Tudor, that was fun. That's bro time right there.
Willow Toomey Orr looking on. As you can see, saying mama on the Jumbotron. You gotta love it. Tell you what, hey, listen, that trumps every event win she's ever had, bro.
back inside my lovely hotel, and we are going to talk about the final event of day one, which was confusing, chaotic, a lot of changes on the leaderboard to end day one, and a lot I didn't expect. Let's go through it. So, final event of day one, event 3, was climbing couplet. It had a bunch of pegboards and a squat clean and front squat complex. The number of reps went down, the weight went up. That's the workout. And, that workout, it sounds good for a lot of people who did not do great. We'll start with the women's side. In first in this event, which was awesome to see, and I think this was a good event for her, was Fi Sagafi, who finished the event in 8:33, which was actually nearly a minute faster than the second place athlete with 9:30, which is also a really interesting outlier. So Fi smashed this event while a lot of other people struggled with the rope climbs. Not taking anything away from Fi. I think Fi could have done well on this regardless of the situation, but it does appear that the pegboard that she was on was a better pegboard, less slippery pegboard. There were a lot of people winning this event or doing well in this event out of lane 2. It actually may be the top 3 people, possibly. Definitely the top 2 people. Fi and Lydia both used number 2 pegboard, the second lane, and both won their heat and came in first and second overall. And it does appear that some of the other pegboards were very slippery, is what we've gathered from this event. But I think both those athletes are actually good at pegboards too. I just think there's a lot of factors going in here to influence why certain people did better than others, I think. That's just what I'm gathering. Anyway, so we had Fi in first, Lydia Fish in second, winning in the final heat, a heat that you rarely see anyone win other than Tia-Clair Toomey, and you did not see her win this heat, or even come close to it. So Lydia Fish came in second. Sierra Meja, this is the first event we've seen her do really well in. She qualified through the in-affiliate semifinal. A lot of us had never heard of her before. She won it. There was a lot of question marks about Syria. She finished 20th and 20th in events 1 and 2, and finally we see her get a third. So maybe she's going to climb her way up throughout the weekend. I don't know. I really don't know that much about her, and I think that's the case for the majority of people covering this. So we'll see. Olivia Kerstetter finished in 4th, then Lexi Neely, Lucy Campbell. Just going down the list. Maria Quintero, Claudia Gluck, Alexis Raptis, Annika Greer, still going. Where is Tia-Clair Toomey? 16th. And I went back and she did not have a finish this low in 2024. She didn't compete in 2023. 2022 was the last time she had a finish worse than 16th. She finished 17th in the Alpaca. That was also in a field of 40 athletes. Take from that what you may. It's just an interesting observation. Tia was literally doing these pegboards without her legs. And when I was first watching this, I was wondering if she was injured. She was not. I don't believe she is. From what I've heard from the athletes and people who know the athletes, they were just really slippery, possibly from people just sweating on them in previous heats. And I don't know. And I don't know if that makes a ton of sense, because why would one pegboard be less sweaty multiple times? I don't know. It might just be the actual plexiglass is more or less slippery than it is how much people sweat on it. That could add another factor for sure. But a really interesting event, because we don't often see Tia end a day with a 16th place finish. So let's go over the leaderboard overall on the women's side while we are here. And don't worry, all is still right in the world, because Tia-Clair Toomey is still in first place overall, but only by 6 points. That's not what we see from Tia at many events. Usually, quickly, Tia has separated herself, and before this event, it felt like that. And also worth noting, before this event, Amy Kringle was in second place, and she is now in fifth with a 29th place finish in the pegboard event, which is a lot worse than I thought she would do in that. Not that I thought she would do great, but that is not what I was expecting. I thought she was looking good. I mean, it's only 2 events in to really look good to keep top 3. That's difficult to say, but I didn't expect her to take a 29th out of, remember, 30 people. Let's not forget that. So Tia-Clair Toomey is still in first overall. Second is Lydia Fish, which is insane. She qualified through the last chance qualifier, which is awesome to see that she's doing this well. And you know, she's been trying to get here for a couple years. She's had moments where heavy cleans or heavy weights have sort of impacted her at semifinals, and now she came in second in an event that had a lot to do with lifting. Super impressed by Lydia Fish. Tied for points with Lydia is Lucy Campbell, who I've been saying, based on her performance so far this year, keep an eye on Lucy. And we have, and she's doing well. Maddie Sturt in 4th, Amy Kringle, like I said, in 5th, Danielle Brandon in 6th, Ariel Lowen in 7th with a 12th on all crossed up and a 15th on climbing couplet. She started out the day with her best performance on that run, row, run. And then Marianne Von Rohr, who I've been pretty impressed with. A 6th and an 8th, ending the day with the 20th, but we just discussed that event was a little weird. It was a little weird. Fee has moved her way up to 9th, and Claudia Gluck is in 10th. Now, if I go just briefly through a couple other names, Annika Greer, 13th. I think that's great for her. She did well back half of the day because that first event was not her event. Abigail Domit and Haley Adams, 14th at Haley Adams, 15th for Abigail Domit, both lower than I would expect them. Both really struggled on that pegboard event, but other than the run, row, run, neither of them have great events. Like, they don't have great finishes. Alexis Raptis in 15th. I think I said this before, but I'm starting to question if she's 100% healthy. I could be wrong. I don't know. I hope she is. Maybe she'll climb up tomorrow. Moving day. Saturday is moving day. So we shall see. And I think that's Hattie Canyo in 17th. And Abigail Domit and Alexis Raptis are tied in points. I think those are really like the note. Oh, Brooke Wells, actually. Never mind. Brooke Wells is in 24th. She also really struggled on those pegboards, falling at one point. I think she's totally okay, but rough event for her. 15th, 19th, and 22nd. Nothing great going on there. Really all middle of the pack to lower half of the pack scores. Let's move over to the men, where things again got a little crazy. We will start by looking at the climbing couplet like we did for the women. So in first in the climbing couplet, and this guy, you're going to hear his name in first again after this, Jayson Hopper, just demolished that event. 5:34, much faster than any of the women's times. Very impressive performance from Jayson. I've said a couple times that I'm gonna have to see Jayson do it to believe Jayson can do it, and he's doing it. Maybe I'll get on board with the Jayson Hopper train. And second in that event was Roman Khrennikov, who seems like he's having a really good weekend. He seems like he's in good spirits, having fun. He's kind of a ham. Like, he sees cameras and people and he's like waving and giving like heart hands and stuff. I enjoy Roman Khrennikov's energy. Harry Lightfoot finished in 3rd, also a person that's having a much better weekend than I thought. Someone in my comments section pointed out that I didn't include Harry Lightfoot in my top 10, and I did not. And they seem to be calling me out on that as being incorrect. And that person, I don't remember who you are, may be right. Just letting you know. Harry Lightfoot might be the real deal, might be a top 10 athlete this year. Only day 1. Lots can happen. Remember, moving day tomorrow. Justin Medeiros finished in 4th. Good workout for Justin. Good back half of the day for Justin. Jake Crouch finished in 5th. Jeff Adler continues to not do as well as I'd expect. 6th place on that event. Wouldn't be terrible if he hadn't taken an 11th on the previous event, which was a big hit. Jack Rosema, after that, James Sprague was in 8th. Colton Mertens got a good 10th place finish here, bouncing back from that broken rope. Dallin Pepper, 11th. And when we're getting down here after we're out of the top 10, starts to hurt you a little bit. Ricky Garrard, who was in first place going into this event, ended up finishing in 14th. Those are like athletes that it's interesting because like Ricky Garrard was in first, then had this tough event. Before him, Jeff Adler was in first, then had a tough event. The numbers are going to be close and things are tight. We're going to see shifting, I think, for a while. And we talked about in my preview video how 10 people can win this. Like 9 or 10 men could potentially win the CrossFit Games. I think it's going to keep the points close throughout the weekend. So in first, but actually tied in number of points overall is Jayson Hopper, 260, tied with Dre Crouch. Now, Jayson has the tiebreaker because he has a first place and Jay does not, but he has more consistent finishes throughout the weekend so far. Interesting to see. Roman Khrennikov just 4 points behind the two of them. That's one placement in most events. Very, very close. So if Roman was to beat both Jayson and Jay in the next event, Roman would be wearing the leader jersey. Tight, tight, tight. Ricky fell to 4th. He's about 20 points behind the first place position. But again, like I said, we've had people get the first and then have a really poor finish. So that could happen again, and Jeff could be back up at top. So Jeff in 5th, Justin Medeiros, who I was hoping to see make his way back in the top 10 this year, or predicting that would happen. He's sitting in 6th place. Harry Lightfoot, who I've already admitted to possibly being wrong about, he finished in 7th, or he finished the day in 7th. James Sprague ended day 1 in 8th. Dallin Pepper is in 9th, which I think is pretty decent for having 2 not so great finishes. Then Tudor Magda wraps up your top 10 with 170 points. So between 1st and 10th, 90 points. It's not a huge amount. Austin Hatfield, big fall out of the top 10, hard fall out of the top 10. He's in 11th. He had a 28th finish on the pegboard, second to last in that event. Not what we would expect from him. Colin Bossard, also someone that I think could potentially be top 10. He had a hard hit in that final event, finishing 27th. So a couple people we'd expect to do a little better, not doing great. Colton Mertens, just having a tough day 1. I think that Colton still has potential to make it close to that top 10, maybe even into the top 10, but he took some hard finishes. He finished 26th in event 1. Okay, fine. Nothing too concerning there. That's not his event. But then a 20th in event 2. That's just tough. Not something he can afford after taking a 26th, and his rope broke. So potentially something that just was unfortunate, having a big impact. I don't know if he got time back for that. I'm not sure how I would find that out. I could try to ask somebody. But yeah, rough event for Colin. Other than that, another name that people talk about a lot, or at least have, possibly because of Hiller, Bill Leahy. He's sitting in 27th. I don't know if that's that crazy, but it is the reality. This is my 10th CrossFit Games attending, which is insane. And I'm really happy to be here. Really fortunate to be able to get media credentials and to bring all of these videos to all of you. I really appreciate you all for watching. You guys make this happen. I couldn't make these videos without you all as the viewers. So I do want to say a thank you to all of you. A bunch of you have come up to me and said hello and taken selfies, and that means a ton. If you're not subscribed and you're enjoying these videos, which are my like little vlogs / rough cut of the games, because I try to get things out fast. That's kind of what I try to do when I'm here at the games. If you're enjoying them, make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate you all for watching. I really appreciate you all for supporting me in this channel and this journey. Thank you. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. We've got day 2.